All right, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the King and I Life podcast, hosted by myself, Toucha the Poet, and my brother in the house,
So Lex and this.
Yes, definitely hit us up on your preferred podcast platform. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Like, subscribe, share, and Son So Lex is going to tell you that other part what he like to hear.
Man, if you shoot in that email at KingAndEye369@gmail.com. Again, that's gonna be KingAndEye369@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Hear from you, get some feedback. Let's get it cracking, y'all.
You know it. Yeah, man. So, how you been doing, man?
Good, man. Good. Had a good week.
That's what's up. A lot of news going on out there in the world today. A lot of crazy stuff. With DMX and all kind of crazy shit out there. But
yeah, I heard about the brother, man. From what I hear, he's recovering. So shouts out to DMX. I hope you feel, brother, better, my brother, and keep it going.
Yeah, I'm hearing mixed things about that, but I think that's a topic I want to touch on one day about drug abuse and shit like that. Maybe hit that one day.
Yeah, we can definitely get it in.
But we got a follow up for y'all today. Long overdue. We was trying to wait for the right time. Hopefully, we was hoping that we could have got a female on this conversation with us, but the follow-up questions are from females. I don't think that we hit the topic as it was intended, but we just went off of what we were thinking,
right?
And I think it would have been better if specific question would have been posed to us. So that's what the feedback is from. And thanks to those who sent in that feedback, because without that feedback, we wouldn't be where we are now with this conversation. So
true that.
We're going to follow up with Confessions of a Man. But before we jump into that, how did you feel about the conversation the first time we had it? Like, what are your thoughts about it? What are your thoughts about it?
Again, when we're given our initial conversation about it, we're just going from the information that was given to us, which was basically just the question itself. Few small other details, but nothing in depth like this.
Right.
So I think our the first part was good. I thought it was insightful. It was, definitely giving some great answers to the questions that were posed. I felt like, again, you're asking us specifically to give our insight, and that's what we did.
Right. Yeah.
So I feel like the information was good. How about you?
I agree. Like, if you ask a man to tell man secrets, we're only going to tell you the immediate things that pop in our minds. Mm-hmm. We're not going to necessarily give you specific things that you're thinking or that you want us to say. And I think that's the issue with conversations between men and women. If you give a man a broad question, he's going to give you a broad answer, but that's specific to what he's thinking. So I think a better way to approach stuff like that is to ask men direct questions, because we kind of respond better to direct questions. Sometimes we may not want to answer them, or we might try to figure out a way to dance around it. But I think if you present us with a specific thing, that gives us the opportunity to be more specific to what you want to know. Because I don't think if we're being like transparent with a conversation, I don't think that we're going to answer the questions that you want answered if you don't ask those questions. So I think what we gave was representative of where our heads were at. If I remember correctly, I don't even think we gave we gave somewhat similar answers, but some of our points were kind of different because we looked at the conversation kind of different. So
Right.
again, I think we answered well, but I think what was being looked for was lacking because those specific questions were not asked of us. So
Right.
so now that we have several specific questions,
Mm-hmm.
we can probably answer those questions a lot better. So
Right.
so
Yeah.
let's get into it, man.
I just like to add that I was specifically told to answer these questions in the mind frame of a single man. So y'all say y'all want that raw raw. I'm finna give you that raw raw.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I get that. I get
Mm-hmm.
that. I get that. I get that. But I don't think it's fair for either one of us, because we have marriage experience. I don't think it's fair for either one of us to answer these questions solely as a single man. Because if you just okay, so let's just say we're put on the spot and we
Right.
have to answer as a single man, but we're trying to represent men, not all
Mm-hmm.
men, but just men in general.
Right.
We have to give that balance between answering as a single man or for marriage experience, because married and single women are having these questions in their minds. They're having these questions these conversations with their girlfriends, and they want to know. So it's like the same way we would want to know, asking women from a single and married perspective about specific things. I'm sure they want the same thing.
All right. Well, I try to balance it out for everyone the
We'll do our
best I
best.
can. Yeah.
We'll do our best.
So, with that being said, let's go and get into it, man. Let's go and do this
Feel
thing.
like we on a firing line and shit.
Okay. Try to tell you, boy.
Oh man.
So, why do men blow us off or ghost us for days? Are you dating too many women or getting too close and caught up and don't want to fall in love?
That boy, I wish that question was asked last time.
Yeah.
Why do we do that? Shit. Let me see. From well, I'm not even gonna say, but from what perspective?
All right.
Sometimes men want our space. Um, and sometimes we don't communicate it probably as effectively as we can because we don't want to hurt. We think we're going to hurt a woman's feelings if we say, hey, I don't want to be bothered. That's something that we need to deal with in ourselves. And I think if we were able to deal with that better in ourselves and stop thinking that we're going to necessarily hurt a woman's feelings, communication would be better. But there are situations that men have been through or have seen, experienced, or observed where, a guy says, hey, I don't want to be bothered. I just want to chill, fall back, whatever the case may be. And they catch a lot of heat. Now, that heat could be because they've done dirt before
Mm-hmm.
and got caught up, or it could be because this woman has experienced certain things in her dealing with men that, that a man will take and be like, um, could it be because a man is dating too many women? I'm gonna say yes and no. everything has balance. Um, then you have to look at what is too many women. Now, for the man who is dating more women than he can handle, too many women, he'll do that because he hasn't learned how to manage the situations that he's in. Um, and that could be because he's not being honest with the women that he's dealing with. He's playing a lot of games. So he has to be forced to juggle his time in a manner which he has to blow a woman off or ghost her for days because he's not, again, he's not being transparent. Um, as far as being getting caught up and not wanting to fall in love, that also could be a thing. You know, this man could be dating several women or just one woman, and he may be hesitant to open himself up. So he'll ghost the woman for a few days or whatever case may be, and try to rationalize that inside his head. He may be feeling her like this, that, and the other, but at the same time, he just don't want to. He don't want to make himself allow himself to be vulnerable to that situation. So that's my thoughts on that one.
Man, very good answers. Very good answers. I really don't know if I can add to that, but I'll try. Um, why do men blow us off and ghost us for days? Okay, so that one for me, I will say is men just want our space. You know, we um, just need time to think. You know, some of us who are like that, um, we just like to be in our own element, where we can chill.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, um, take in a few games, work on our cars, holler at the boys, you know, whatever. But we just don't want to be interrupted with conversation, you know, that we have to, or sometimes have to share, you know, with our female counterparts. So it's not that they're really blowing you off to the extent of, you know, you get on my goddamn nerve or anything like that. It just, for men, they like having their own space. Some of us.
Yeah.
So when when we want that space, it's kind of like it's giving us a chance to recharge our batteries a little bit,
Yeah.
to gather our thoughts, and sometimes do a little bit of self-reflecting, make sure we're on the
Definitely.
right track. Um, Again, just gather what's going on and making sure we're going in the right direction. And again, that has nothing to do with females, but it's kind of like, again, one of those things. You just want that little bit of space to check yourself, as they say.
Yeah.
Um, Now, as far as dating too many women, there are some real players out there, you know, um, that, again, like you were saying, they don't know how to manage their time. So when you have a man who don't know how to manage his time correctly, you're pretty much gonna find a man who's in chaos,
Oh
because
yeah.
time management is very serious, for a lot of men. I'm not gonna say all men, but most men, because again, you got to find that balance of getting things done,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you're trying to build something, meaning, you know, build a business, or um, if you're working on a particular project, whether it be work related or personal. Sometimes you can just be so focused on that
Mm-hmm.
that it's kind of like you have to put everything else on pause, meaning any women that you're seeing, because you're like, I got to make sure this is taken care of first, because although we love women, there aren't
Mm-hmm.
too many women who's going to pay your damn bills. So as a
Yeah.
man, you got to make sure your shit is on point. Um, the whole getting caught up with the love thing, there are some men out there who have been hurt like that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, I really like this woman. I enjoy spending time with this woman, but I don't want to go there with her, because of the previous experiences that I've had. And again, women will look at that like, you playing games. And to a certain extent, I guess you could say it is playing games, but it's kind of like when you try to express that, sometimes women will take it the wrong way.
Yeah.
Of you saying, well, I just want my own personal space. I've been hurt in the past, and she's looking at it like, so you're basically saying you don't want to put effort into seeing where this can go.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, no, it's not that. I just want my personal space.
Yeah.
Uh, I need that time to make sure we are going in a direction that's beneficial for both parties.
Right. Yeah.
But it, the whole fall in love thing, um, when men fall in love, to me, and this is just my personal experience, they fall in love for real.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They don't take falling in love for granted. I've met some real goddamn killers out here uh, when they in the streets, but when they meet that one female that they um, find to be the one, it will change that dude
Mm-hmm.
most times for the better. And sometimes men, when they feel that vulnerability of being in love, they know that it changes their game and their outlook on life somewhat.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like one of them things. They're not opposed to falling in love, but they just want to make sure it's the right one that they fall in love with.
Right.
So that would be my take on that.
Yeah, and I don't think this question can necessarily be answered from a married perspective, because if you're married and you ghosting your wife for days, you got bigger problems.
Yeah, you definitely do.
You got bigger problems on your hand if you ghosting your wife for days.
Uh, I've seen a
It's
situation. I'm sorry,
yeah.
go ahead.
Now go ahead.
I've seen a situation where a guy was married to his wife, and him and his wife got into it, and he blocked that ass off social media
Oh wow.
platforms.
You know what that was about.
Yeah,
Either he was
yeah.
doing dirt or he just wanted to piss her the fuck off.
Oh man, I'm like this dude is cold blooded, man,
Oh
cold
man.
blooded.
That's wild.
Yeah,
Oh
but
man.
they eventually worked it out though. But that's the first time I ever seen someone who was married block their
Wow.
significant other.
Mm.
He was in one of those situations where he works, out of the home. So
Oh damn.
evidently she said something or something went down where, he felt some kind of way about it.
That's crazy.
It was past, we can't
Mm.
talk about
Wow.
it.
So why do men hold back when it comes to their feelings? Why do men act like they are into you when they really are not?
I think some men hold back on their feelings because they get the idea. If I show that I'm really into this female, then she go to thinking that she has, how can I say this? She has the exclusive rights to me.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't want to give exclusive rights. You know what I'm saying? They're like, I'm really feeling you. I to myself, I can even say I love you in my head,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm just not ready to relinquish my reins just yet.
Mm-hmm.
So they might hold back their feelings on that part.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some men, when they act like they're really into you, is because they have a goal in mind. They're really trying to get what it is that they want out of you, which 9 times out of 10, that stuff that you carry around with you everywhere you go.
Mm-hmm.
But some men just play games like that. I'll be straight up with you. Some men just, well, let me just, and like I like her until I get what I need from her, and then I'll ghost her motherfucking ass.
Yeah.
And I've seen it done in business and in the bedroom. So it is what
Oh
it is.
wow.
Me personally, I don't play those type of games though.
Mm.
I'd rather be straight up. Hey, this what I got going on. I like it, love it, hate it, leave it, take it with you. But this is what it is. So a lot of men just they don't have it that mindset of this is what I want, this is what I want to do, and involve their female counterparts off into that, basically giving them the game plan.
Mhm.
But anyway, that's just my take on it.
I would have to say, um, men hold back when it comes to their feelings because they've been hurt several times, or hell, even one time, and they have not learned how to deal with that, work through it, um, get over it. Uh, they probably haven't been taught those things. They probably weren't raised in a nurturing environment to where it was it was taught that it's okay for you to express your feelings and stuff like that. Like we've probably said before in other segments. Men, a lot of men will show their emotions at funerals, weddings, and when the baby is born. But when it comes to a relationship with their woman or a potential mate or whatever the case may be, they got that hard shell on them. And again, that's just be probably more likely because they haven't learned how to express themselves. They don't feel comfortable expressing themselves. They weren't in nurturing environments. They're experiencing, trying to be hard, and they try to play this hard role all the time because they don't want to appear as soft. Um, they also hold back because they don't want to again feel vulnerable or feel like they're going to be taken advantage of. Um, and unfortunately that happens in marriages as well. You do all that surface showing feelings and stuff, and that's sufficient. But when it comes down to it, after the fact, after you're married and you can't open up to this woman, you know, because you still are holding on to those insecurities as far as it comes as expressing yourself. So that's a problem. And why men act like they're into a woman when they're really not, as you were saying, they have an agenda. Um, all too often. I mean, that's not uh it's not a high percent. Well, I can't even say that's not a high percentage. There is a good percentage of men out there who act like they're into a woman, but they're not because they have an agenda. Um,
Mhm.
then you also have to take into consideration. Um, Sometimes it's not an act. Sometimes this man is really into the woman, but he's not really um, showing it or expressing it because he may be moving cautiously, too cautiously, or whatever the case may be. And again, he don't want to get his feelings hurt. So,
True.
he may be showing little things that he's into the woman, but in the back of his mind, if he does not have an agenda to play with her emotions and whatever the case may be, he may just be overly protective of his feelings and his pride and ego and all that other stuff. Um, so ladies, don't always take it as if a man is holding back or you think he's acting like he's into you, but he's not. Take into consideration that all men are not equipped to express their feelings in a manner that is productive in that situation. So, but
True.
as with everything, survey the situation, make sure that you see what you're seeing and take it at face value, but also dig deeper to try to get more understanding so that you can know for sure, hey, this man may be cautious of expressing himself, or he may not be playing, he may not have an agenda. He just being cautious of himself. So, I mean, that's how I would look at that one.
Yeah, very valid points. Um, why don't they show their romantic side and tell us how you would plan a romantic evening?
Because some of them don't know how. Period. Um,
That is
I
true.
think that's the biggest. I think that's the biggest issue. Um, and I'm gonna blame it on society and social media and uh, reality shows and this, that, and the other. Um, I've watched a few reality shows in my time, and when it comes to romantic evenings, you don't see a true romantic evening play out without drama on reality TV. And that is like the guide for a lot of people today. They look at what's going on reality TV. Outside of that, they don't take the time to know what the woman likes, know what the woman wants. They're not creative. They're not explorative. They don't they don't have any idea of spontaneity. They have no clue that, little things when it comes to being romantic work, they matter. Um, what else? Um, yeah, other than that, they just, or they just aren't built that way. Um, and I know a lot of dudes who mostly younger, some my age group, some older, but they're just not built for that. They don't have it in them, and what they look at as romantic as, all right, we're going out to dinner to this whatever restaurant. They don't take the time to say, hey babe, I want you to get dressed up. I'm gonna pick you up at such and such time. I want you to dress, such and such way because we're going to this type of place. Um, they don't know how to, pack a picnic basket and throw the stuff in the car and be like, hey, babe, what you doing such and such time? I want to take you somewhere, roll up to a park and throw out a blanket in the basket and stuff like that. Men are not built like that. I, and it's sad that it's like that because they miss out on getting to the core of that woman. If that woman is, if he wants to impress that woman, um, they look at material things and think that they equate that to romance, and it's like, no, that's not romance. Um, I think the wildest thing that I ever did, and it was like spur of the moment. I was dating this chick back in like 2015, 2016.
Mm.
I was supposed to be going to hang out at, no, I was supposed to be going to a poetry event. And for whatever reason, it got canceled. And so I went home and baked up a little pasta dish real quick, grabbed a bottle of wine, hit the shorty up, like, hey, what you doing? Such and such got canceled. I'm gonna come pick you up. She was like, I ain't doing nothing, blah, blah, blah. So I go pick her up. We go ride. And she was like, where the hell we going? I'm like, oh, we going for a ride. And it was like 9, 10 o'clock at night. Um, so we went, parked by the water, hopped in the back seat, and I had got the TV screen in my Armada, threw on a movie, and we sat there and ate a pasta dish in the back of the fucking truck, and it was like bomb ass shit. Um, but dudes, they just don't have it in them, or they just don't know.
My man, goddamn Romeo over here. Well, I know for a fact people or females probably not gonna like this answer I'm finna give, but men don't have an interest in that shit.
Yeah, whoa, yeah.
I'm gonna be real with you. They just don't have a
Mm.
fucking interest in that romantic ass shit. And I'm not speaking for all men. I'm gonna say some men. They just it's not appealing to them. They're kind of like looking at life as what's in front of them and um, dealing with life as it comes.
Mhm.
But as far as like taking that time out to actually think of ways to be romantic, they're just not trained in that shit.
Yeah.
Like, um, men, to a certain extent, the things that they know are the basics as far as like I'm providing, I'm loving, I'm trying to be a nurturer towards my woman. Um, I'm not out there running the streets.
Mm,
I'm at home. You can reach me when you need to reach me. Just things like that. You know, they trying to make sure they keep the damn lights on and a roof over your head.
mm,
So again, with some men, they just don't know. If you weren't raised in that type of environment, and not saying that you can't learn, but if you weren't raised in that environment, for a lot of guys, they just don't. It doesn't even click in their head like that.
right.
So um, I guess it's one of those things of, and there are some men who really are romantic like that. They like really want to do it up for their female counterparts.
Mm-hmm.
But some guys, when they get played and they've gone out of their way to be romantic, um, I think that's the thing that kind of turns them off. Like I've seen plenty of guys, myself included,
Mm-hmm.
who set up a date, or have special plans set aside, and you go through all the motions of setting shit up, and then the female don't even show up.
Mm.
She don't even call to give you a goddamn heads up. Hey, I'm not gonna make it. So I think that kills it a lot. When I was younger, um, I was kind of like a romantic too. I like doing things like that for my female. But now that I'm older, I don't mind doing it. I will do it.
Mm,
But it's kind of like one of the things I'll say I have to make myself do,
mm.
because I'm so focused on other shit
Right,
that
right.
I really just have to stop myself and say, hey, you gotta take some time out for your lady.
Mm. That's a
Um,
that's a very interesting and valid point. Uh, yeah, but I think to a degree it's unfortunate in certain situations, not all.
right.
Um, if a man is just starting out and he's that way, that I think that's a problem. Um, and I say it's a problem because you may have women out here who've never experienced romance,
Mm-hmm.
and that guy might be the guy that she's looking at and has an interest in, and she has these expectations in her head, just off the vibe that she's getting off this dude. Now, oh, I want him to be romantic and this, that, and the other, and he lets her down so hard, and that just messes her up, and it messes her up for the next dude. Um, but I definitely agree with you when a man goes out of his way, and like he is built like that. He's built for that romance, this, that, and the other. He goes out of his way. He makes all the plans, and he has it all lined up, and she knows it, and she either ghosts him
Mm-hmm.
or cancels on him. And it's worse if she cancels last minute, because
Yeah. Oh,
this
yeah.
man has gone out of his way, like out of his way, like out of his comfort zone, out of his way. And to get disappointed like that is crushing.
It
Um,
is.
Forget the ego. Um, just look at the emotional impact that it has to that man. Um, it shuts him down, and that goes back to holding back their feelings, because you know planning a romantic date or something like that takes feelings. And if this man jumps out there with his feelings and doing this, that, and the other, and it gets rejected, or stood up, or ghosted, this, that, and the other, now you tarnish this man for the next woman.
Yep.
And now he might be like, I'll do it if I have to, but on a out the humble, I ain't doing that bullshit. Fuck that. We can go fucking Fridays and sit at the bar or something like this, or go to Ruby Tuesdays. Hey, you better get your romantic mind on, chick, because that's it. And, you know, it's just sad that that happens because, you know, it, man, yeah, I've been there too. I've been there before. But for me, I don't, because it's happened to me with certain females, I don't put that on other females.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, like you, I'm not necessarily going out of my way to be romantic. I would probably be more romantic after the fact with a female, as far as, all right, we have some history together. Out the blue, I might surprise you and, you know, do something romantic because um we have that history. But off the break, 9 times out of 10, it's not happening. It's not happening. This is not, you know, back in the day when, you know, chivalry was at the top of the list. And that was the way that you got a woman. No, I'm not doing that. We definitely have to have history before I jump out there and do something like that. Uh, I'm not saying that it always has to be that way, but yeah, I can be romantic, but it's not just gonna be, hey, that's gonna be my thing. So yeah.
I mean, with certain females, they so goddamn shiesty. Because, and I can say this from personal experience, I've taken a female out on a date. We go to eat, you know, nice conversation, go to a movie, uh, hell, go to a park, you know, some shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the night, you know, there are no expectations, but it'd be nice to get some ass. Don't get no ass, but then you hear from your homeboy later, hey, you know, so and so was over at old girl house when you dropped her off.
Mm.
So you basically done spent your goddamn money and time romancing this female for the next motherfucker who didn't spend not one fucking dime to come in
Mm.
and do the do as they say.
Mm. Pretty much, you was a fluffer.
Yeah,
you
pretty
got her ready.
much.
You got her ready for the next dude.
Exactly. So
Oh man.
I think that men who have gone through that, they see that to a certain extent, it's kind of like a waste of your time and your effort.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you doing all this, and then next thing you know, goddamn Chad and Tyrone she'll break a goddamn neck to go fuck with.
Yeah.
You're trying to show her, you know, that there are good men out here.
Mm.
We'll take the time and, you know, treat you the way you say you want to be treated.
That part right there.
But then you're down again, go way out of your damn way for somebody who ain't spent shit on you, ain't trying to
Mm.
do none of that shit for you. All thing he want to do is come through and beat your guts up and go and get the hell on.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
but that romantic shit, man, is if you've been with your lady for a while, I'll say cool.
Mm-hmm.
But for someone you're just meeting, I would keep that shit just as regular as I fucking can because at the end of the night, you're the one who's spending the damn money.
Yeah.
But you are not the one who's in charge of whether you get some sex or not.
Yeah. But I mean, at the end of the day, you have to gauge your situation for what it is.
True.
If you're not feeling it, you're not feeling it. If you're feeling it, you're feeling it. But definitely, I would say, um, you can show your romantic side with limits. It doesn't have to be I'm gonna take you out to dinner. It doesn't have to be I'm gonna take you out on this phenomenal date. This that. There's different ways to be romantic, but you definitely have to base it off of your interaction with that woman because only you know what you comfortable with. Um, and it doesn't have to be the expectation of a piece of ass at the end of the evening,
True.
but you know, as how Phoenix say it, date within your can't remember
Your
how she
lane or your
how,
level or some
yeah,
shit she said.
whatever the hell she was saying.
But
Yeah, I mean
another
that's the bottom line on that.
another thing about that though is women don't always have to wait on a man to be the romantic motherfucker first. You know what I'm saying? Like
All right.
they always put it on. I'm not gonna say always, but majority of the time, women want the man to lead in the romance department, and I
Mm-hmm.
think that shit is so fucked up. Like he don't always have to do that first. Sometimes your ass can take the lead,
Mm.
especially again if you've been with someone for a while. Don't always put it on them to always be the romantic person. Like for a female, if she sets up something and like, babe, on Friday night, keep your schedule open. I want to do something special with you.
Mm-hmm.
That shit counts for something,
It
especially
does.
with men. I think men, we carry that shit a little bit closer to our heart than some women do. I'm not gonna say
Mm-hmm.
all women, but some women, because some women they like, yeah, you did that then, but what have you done lately?
Yeah, that's a mood killer right there.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, I've done these many dates for you, or try to be romantic on these many occasions. But when was the last time you said no, babe? You keep your money in your pocket. I got this one.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
I think romantic or being romantic is a two-way street.
Yeah, it is a two-way street. I just wanted to throw two more things on that because
Go ahead.
um one, as you were saying, women are waiting on men. Um, but the problem with that is it's like two carts trying to lead each other. That woman don't know how to do it. This man don't know how to do it. They waiting for the other and this, that, and the other. And it's like, okay. Um, and my other point to that is I was having a text conversation with a female that I know,
Mm-hmm.
and we was talking about, ironically, we was talking about dates. Um, and I think she had asked me something about paying for dates or something like that. And
Mm-hmm.
she was like, when I go on dates, I never pay. And I said to myself, what? Like, what? Like, you never pay. And it automatically in my head, I'm like, so you telling me that you dealing with somebody, or on whatever level, and y'all go out on 3, 4, 5 dates, you're never paying? No, I'm not never paying. Well, shit. I'm gonna say to myself, if I find myself taking you out on dates and you never offer to pay, or you never ask to take me out, I damn sure ain't gonna be romantic with you. That shit is out the fucking window.
Hell
Period.
no.
There is no way. And if you come at me sideways talking about how come you'll never do anything romantic, shit. I'm the one always taking you out on dates. You never like what are you giving me in return? Like, I don't necessarily have to be expecting a piece of ass, but what are you giving me in return? You never offer to pay. You never ask me out. You don't do anything. It's always, if I say, hey, you want to go out, your coat and purse is ready, but you ain't taking nothing out of it. So
True.
romance with that is out the window.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you want a motherfucker to be romantic with you, be romantic with him.
Right.
Cause a lot of these guys, again, they just don't know. So if you want a dog to do some goddamn tricks for you, you
Throw a
got to
bone.
teach him how to do the goddamn tricks.
Right.
You got to teach him.
Yeah.
You can't tell goddamn Sparky to roll over and do backflips and go chase the goddamn frisbee if you
Uh-uh.
don't fucking teach him.
You got, as they say professionally, you have to give positive reinforcement. That is needed. Like, come on, man. Like, get out of here with that
Yeah.
mess.
And my thing is this: is it doesn't necessarily always have to be about money, right?
Right.
I'll be the type of motherfucker. I'll invite you over to the crib, cook you a meal. We can go for a walk out of there, come back, and hell, catch a movie on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
But you can also do that shit too.
Right.
As a female, you can be like, hey, babe, I'm thinking this Saturday. I know we talked about going out, but how about you just come over to the crib and I'll cook you something to eat?
Yeah.
or hell,
Something small.
yeah, let me lead on this one. It's
Yeah.
not always about the man taking the lead on being romantic, because again, a lot of men just don't know how.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Pretty much, man. Pretty much on that.
yeah,
But
you gotta.
I don't know, man. It's just crazy out there in the world.
It is, man. I mean,
And
I'm
I,
sorry, but
I think people just need to, well, men need to step it up and allow themselves to be vulnerable, and women need to be receptive and open-minded when it comes to stuff like that.
true. I totally agree with that.
But ladies and gentlemen, that is part one of Confessions of a Man follow-up.
Yes, sir.
We are going to jump back into this one. Again, hit us up on whatever podcast platform you prefer. Follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Patreon is going to be locked and loaded very soon. Like, subscribe, share, all that shit. And as Son Solex likes to say,
send us that email at KingAndEye369 at gmail.com. Again, that's KingAndI369 at gmail.com. Holla at us, man, for real.
yes, holla at us. And remember, we are looking for a female guest host to knock out some topics with us, because we need a female perspective. But we'll catch y'all back on part two.
For sure.